Right now, it feels like the internet is a city that will not stop rebuilding itself. Platforms rise up every 5 minutes and disappear just as quickly. Algorithms, they're changing overnight. It definitely feels like AI is writing half of the internet's content anymore. And every year, somebody very, very confidently declares that blogging is dead. Meanwhile, all of us open up our phones, our computer browsers, whatever, to Google millions of questions. And one third of the results that Google shows us are blog style articles. So, in the midst of all this chaos, blogs are still quietly answering millions of questions daily. So, today we're going to be talking about something that seems a little old school, but is probably one of the most stable things that you could build for your business as an entrepreneur. And we're talking about a blog. Hello, my beautiful entrepreneurs. My name is Tabitha, and welcome to A Hot Mess Builds an Empire. I help day one entrepreneurs take that first terrifying leap into business ownership without completely losing their minds in the process. This channel is for the people who are standing on the edge of something really scary, but equally just as marvelous, wondering if they are absolutely unhinged for even considering it. Today, we're talking about blogging, and not from the perspective of is blogging trendy? Because it's not. It's not trendy. You guys, blogging is not trendy. But I am talking about it from the perspective of ownership, longevity, and building something stable online. We're going to be diving into the people who claim that blogging is dead, which it is very much not. We're going to be talking about some statistics, so everybody buckle up for math. And we're going to be talking about why owning a piece of the internet is one of the smartest decisions that you can make as an entrepreneur. Here's something that doesn't get talked about enough. 68% of all online experiences start with a search engine. Not TikTok, not Instagram, not Facebook, not YouTube, Google. That is 7 out of 10 people begin their online experience with a search engine, asking a question, getting an answer. Google experiences about 8.5 billion questions per day. And you know what their search results are? 30% of the search results that they supply you are blogs. 30%. That is amazing organic traffic. And it just goes to show you that blogging is not dead. Having a blog, having your own website, and the bonus of a blog is prime digital real estate. And that digital real estate accumulates over time. And I'm going to be going over some statistics about half lives, which is the amount of time on average post experience on different platforms after they've been posted, how long they kind of stay relevant in the algorithm for. Now, this is an average. I know that we've all had a video where it was like, you know, I posted a video this week and then for 2 weeks straight, it was getting shares and comments and likes and it went viral. It happens. I'm talking about on average with everybody accumulated. This is according to a 2025 study on social media. So this is not just Tabby making stuff up. This is actual factual stuff from 2025 because the information for 2026 is not available yet. I did talk about this in my Pinterest video the other day, but I have added a couple of platforms to this one as well. So don't mind me, I'm reading my notes. When you post to Instagram, on average, a post can last in the algorithm for about 19 hours. TikTok is 1 day. Twitter/X is 18 minutes. Facebook is 5 hours. LinkedIn is somewhere between 23 to 24 hours. YouTube, the videos do last longer, but the average is 10 days. Pinterest, which is a visual search engine and not a social media platform that we discussed the other day on my Pinterest video, can last anywhere from 13 months to a couple of years. And then let's talk about Google search results because these are actually increasing. And Google search results are over 2 years as of 2026, early 2026. So as of the start of this year, You could write a blog post and it would still come up in a Google search result. Search result. It's like a tongue twister. Search result over 2 years ago is still coming up in Google search results today. This is actually an increase from last year. And part of my theory is that it has to do with all the AI content that's coming out. They're kind of going back to before AI was super popular and writing like everything for everybody. But, and I'm not anti AI, I swear, but the way I come off on my YouTube video, it seems like I'm anti AI. I'm not, it's just a different conversation for another day, another time, not about blogging. So let's continue with that. But anyway, this is really important because this is content that compounds on your piece of the internet, which we will talk more about that later. But you don't get that with social media platforms. And it's really important to know that having your own website is a really big deal. So, just to kind of talk about my own blogging journey specifically, I don't really dive into specifics about it. I'm just kind of like, oh, I used to be a travel blogger, blah, 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 blah. I actually started blogging about my teenage angst on Angel Fire. Does anybody remember Angel Fire? It was like for teenage girls, I think, but I mean it was part of the internet. It just went out into whoever read whatever teenage angst crappy stuff I was posting about. But it was like super pixelated graphics, like little flames and stuff like that. And there was like little angels in the flames. And there was something that looks like a Bratz doll. And at the time, I just thought it was just so dope. But maybe a 13-year-old girl shouldn't have a blog online, just saying. But then I moved on to Zanga, more continued teenage angst, I'll have you know, along with MySpace when Tom was still in charge of MySpace. And then when I turned 18, I went out and got myself my own WordPress account. And that became something called Cinema Caesar. Now, this is long gone, and that's okay. But Cinema Caesar was my blog that I dedicated to movies. I was a huge cinephile and I would go to the theater almost every single day. I was watching multiple movies per day and I would review them. But I would also talk about like symbolism and reference like other pieces of work that people had done, such as like Darren Aronofsky, right? He's a big one that I would write about at the time, where it was like, did you see the grapefruit? And did you see this? And did you see that? Like, there were things that I would write about, and people would comment, like, oh my God, I never realized he always had a grapefruit. And I'm like, I told you, I know, I know, I know. And I had no idea what I was doing. No SEO, didn't even know what that was called until like 2017, 2016, something like that, when I started a blog in an official capacity. And I was still connecting with people online. People were still finding me in Google searches. And that was with absolutely no effort on the back end. This was just me slamming my knuckle dragging fingers onto the keyboard, hoping something would sound lovely, and talking about movies on the internet. And I got somewhere with it. So now that I put effort into the back end of my website, I do SEO, I commit to having like a really functional user mobile friendly experience for people. It's so much different to see that organic search come through. Now, I will say I do not have comments available on my blog anymore because thanks to international bots spamming me for like 2 months straight, they're off. I connect with people in different ways through Facebook groups, Instagram, and now YouTube. So if you do want to talk to me about anything on my website, you guys can reach me in multiple ways at this point. But that is the extent of my blogging journey. I have been blogging for quite some time on many different platforms, and I've seen what works and what doesn't. And it's just, there is a lot that has gone into my experience as a blogger. Now, how powerful is a blog? Other than it accumulating traffic over time and possibly making you decent money and getting organic searches and all of that jazz, it can actually become a central hub to everything it is that you have far reaching with your business. You can use traffic from social media platforms to your blog and vice versa. You can use your blog to get newsletter signups. You can use your blog to send people to your YouTube channel. Whatever it is, you can use affiliate links, you can use digital products. It's yours. You can do whatever it is that you want with your blog and point it to all the different directions that you are headed yourself with your business. So, this doesn't have to be like your blog is completely separate from everything. It can literally be a hub to your business. So, I do want to talk about the fact that blogging still works. My favorite example to give is a blogger. I love to love her. And that's Kiki from The Blonde Abroad. She is a travel blogger, and she started traveling in like 2010, 2011, something like that, and started blogging a little bit after that. And the first time I had really encountered her in person was at the first ever travel con that happened in like 2018, I think. And she actually shared her finances, which to me was huge because I had been dabbling around with my blog as in a more serious capacity for about 2 years at that point, and I didn't understand the scope and depth of monetization until I went to TravelCon and just saw like how much money is on the table for a blogger. And she shared her finances about what she got from affiliate links, her group trips, sponsors and brand and UGC and stuff like that. And she had made over $1 million from that previous year. I think it was her first $1 million year, I think was 2017. And first of all, just truly appreciated her transparency. But also, it just showed like when you are consistent and you do everything correctly in terms of setting up a very good foundation for yourself, you can make really good money from it. And the lessons learned from it though is that it does take time, and that if she were to lose her 500,000 followers on Instagram tomorrow, she would be fine. Just throwing that out there. Which leads me into our next section, your own digital space. I truly believe that every entrepreneur should, at the very least, have their own website. Just a couple of pages like about, contact, here's what I do. Have your media kit up there, a contact form, just a couple of things on your website. It does not have to be a blog, it does not have to be like this extensive thing. You do not have to write war and peace on every single page explaining everything about your life. You don't have to do that, but have a website. Let it be linked to through your social media accounts. Let it exist on the internet. Because the thing is that you don't own TikTok, you don't own Instagram, you don't own YouTube, and you own your website. So there's a huge difference there because, I mean, don't even get me started on the political soap opera that is TikTok, but you don't own it. And if TikTok went away tomorrow and got banned, like, oh, don't get me started on anything about the politics, but you would lose that. So have a website that people know exists and can get in contact with you if they want to continue working with you, if they want to follow you for more content, whatever. You can always go back to your website that already exists and do whatever it is that you need to do there. So I want to have this conversation about the reality check behind blogging, because I feel that blogging takes the most time than social media content batching or these YouTube videos. I just think that blogging is probably my most time consuming thing. And the reason for that is A, I'm a very wordy person, and I get very like anal about SEO. I want to make sure that it's good. I want to make sure that I'm getting traffic. Um, but there are a lot of other things that are time consuming about it. Well, yes, like there's a lot of writing involved. Sometimes there's research depending on what it is that you do, right? Like if you are writing about certain cities and you need to go through and just make sure you get the spelling right or whatever. And then for me, I write about history, sometimes folklore, other things of that nature that require research and reading and stuff like that, um, it does take me a little bit longer to write a post. But then there's also, you got to put the keywords in place and make sure they're in your headings and subheadings and titles and your slug and your meta description. And you have to make sure that that keyword is not used on the rest of your website already. You have to make sure that the keyword is a good one that is searchable. You have to check old blog posts to make sure that they're up to date and still SEO friendly. Check affiliate links to make sure they're working. Um, there's all these things that go into your blog, and it's very time consuming. Um, it can take somewhere between 3 to 9 months for your blog post to really start getting organic traffic from Google. It needs to get crawled through, it's connected to other sites, hopefully through internal and external links. But the thing, and more so, backlinks would be very great for your website, but it takes time. And not everybody wants to put in the effort and be patient enough to see that payoff. Now, the more effort you put into your blog, the more you write evergreen content on your blog, the more you're producing and publishing, and the more your domain authority increases, actually, the quicker is your turnover to get organic traffic from Google. So when you first start a blog, it might be somewhere between like 6 to 9 months to see that traffic start to come in. Whereas when you've been going for a while and your domain authority is picking up and Google remembers that it references your site a lot for like a particular thing, you might start to see a turnover in like 3 to 6 months for that traffic. So there's no instant gratification here. It's a long game. Now, you can share your blog post with your social media sites. Please, it's a tool, use it. You can link to stories now, hooray, on Instagram. You can always link to something on Facebook, and you can always link to stuff on YouTube and all that jazz. Like, there are so many things that you could be doing with your blog to share it with social media platforms, but I'm talking about Google specifically. It is a long game. But again, when you share those posts don't last that long, and if they do get some traction, it's an instant gratification thing. And really what you're looking for is that organic traffic from Google to really help your website out. There is also a huge tech learning curve when it comes to running your website. Now, I grew up with a dad who built computers from scratch because he thought it was fun. We would go to computer shows constantly to buy new pieces of motherboard and, or not pieces of motherboard, but to get motherboards and pieces of computer towers and build them, and video cards and this, that, and the other. And we trade it out and put this one in because it was better than the other one. And I grew up with that. So I feel very blessed that I was very tech savvy. I feel also a little broke that I'm very tech savvy with all the technology that I own. There is still a huge learning curve when it comes to learning how to sign up. Where do you go? What do you do? Who do you sign up with? Um, it also comes to setting the foundation for your website. It comes to maintenance. It comes to the plugins, the upkeep, the themes, you know, the aesthetics, making it mobile friendly, making it user friendly, the click throughs, everything being interconnected. How many pages do you have? What pages are where? What's on where? And the layout and the design and all of this stuff, right? I mean, it's just like buying your first house where you're like, oh, I love the neighborhood and the layout of this house. And then 2 weeks in, the furnace breaks and the roof is leaking, and you're like, great. Tabitha's not saying this from personal experience at all. At all. Says the girl sitting under a new roof. Now, if you're sitting here and you're going, oh God, I don't know if I have that kind of time. I don't know if I want to put that time and effort into a blog. I get it. I do. But here's some truth that I want to tell you. If you commit yourself to posting evergreen content consistently, and I say evergreen content where it's like it's just always relevant. Like if you always posted about Halloween stuff, that's seasonal. So you might see a huge uptick come the fall, and then just like traffic that dies down for the rest of the year. But if you post about how to clean your house on a Saturday, well, that's a little more relevant to anybody having a Saturday, right? So posting evergreen content is more helpful because it provides more opportunity for people to not only visit your site through a Google search, but stay on your site and click through to other evergreen content. So if you were to post evergreen content in a consistent capacity for about 9 months to a year, I would say that within a year's time, you would see amazing traffic growth to your website and the opportunities for monetization real quick. So, your opportunities for monetization are through ad agencies, affiliate links, sponsored posts, partnering with, I used to partner with tourism boards, all that kind of stuff. You can do a lot of really great things with a blog. You don't have to be limited to just Amazon affiliate links, right? Like it There are so many opportunities to be making money off of your blog. You just have to put the effort into the blog, which is a long game. Now, you can also do these things with social media accounts and stuff like that, or you can do both and package yourself and make more money that way, which that's also a different conversation for another time when you're talking about brand partnerships. I truly believe that starting a blog is really fun. It's really interesting, and it takes a lot of work. And I just wanted to have sort of this reality check of a conversation with you about starting a blog. Now, this is coming from a blogger. There are plenty of people out there who are entrepreneurs who don't have blogs, and that's okay. You don't have to have a blog. But I am pro blogger, and I think it's just because I love writing and I have a lot of fun doing it. If you ever want to visit my blog, which is currently going through some spring cleaning, so I'm cleaning up certain posts and my SEO and what's connected to what. So a lot of things have been archived temporarily until I release them back into the wild. But there's still a decent amount of content on my site. And I am posting more updated content as well. It's tabithabear.com. That's it. tabithabear.com. That's me. I'm her. You can go to my website. In closing of this YouTube video about blogging, I truly believe that blogging is not dead based on the facts that I have provided earlier in this video, based on the 8.5 billion searches that Google experiences on the daily, based on the fact that 30% of the search results are blog based or blog style. There is just so much that can come from having a blog, even in 2026 when social media platforms are completely dominating the internet right now. But having your own piece of the internet is just one of the smartest decisions you can make for your entrepreneurial journey and for your business. That doesn't mean you have to have a blog. That's not what I'm saying. But having a website it's just almost priceless. It really is. And I can't recommend it enough. So, if you're thinking about having a blog, let me know in the comments. What are you thinking about? What's your niche? What's going on? Let me know. Thank you so much for watching this episode. Please like. If you are not a subscriber, please subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow.